Hello, everybody. Let's head on into Collectively Rewilding. All right. Here we are in Collectively Rewilding and jump right into Garden Planner in the Stay Tuned collection and down into November. So Jay just got, oops, and I forgot I was going to go to the other place that's bigger in this picture here. This is nothing compared to Miss Tammy's setup. I have probably half the house that she has. So we're more contained on space. And so I have this little seed starting shelf setup. There are two more heating mats that we can lay in here on these two so that the primary shelves have the whole setup, right? The whole shelf. And we're going to do sprouts, microgreens, and salad in a bowl. That's the goal anyway. And we should be able to get that done maybe on Wednesday. So maybe it'll be ready for Thursday's garden planning Q&A. And how about you guys? Are any of you working on trying to do this? I know several of you were kind of maybe interested, and Candace had done it in the past. Everybody's quiet.
Oh,
So,
sorry, what was the question, Sabrina? My husband was talking. I didn't hear your question.
oh, you're good. Are you interested in doing any sprouts or microgreens or the salad in a bowl or anything? You've got your whole setup going on.
Yeah, I guess. I haven't really, I think buy some more labels, but I'm pretty much gonna try a little bit of everything. I haven't done the microgreens like you have. It sounds pretty cool. I don't know the process on how to do that quite yet. I
We
just
tried
watched
the
a,
sprouts and we didn't have it go very well, right?
yeah.
It was something that we did in an even smaller apartment and it didn't work out very well, unsurprisingly. So it's Candace that's had success with the sprouts. I've not even tried microgreens.
Yeah, I haven't even tried any of the above. So, but yeah, like, did it fail because of the temperature, your humidity, or like what? How did it not work out for
Sprouts
you?
are a little bit intensive. You have to rinse them every day.
Oh,
And
okay.
so now I have it right here in the office. It's just feet away from me, and hopefully I will be a little more successful. I think the kids were doing it and they didn't really follow through. So,
Oh, okay. Can you get
yeah.
like an irrigation system where you have like indoors where you can automatically like just click a button and so you don't have to get up and water? Like set it on a timer?
I'm sure that I could, but I'm sure that I'm even more sure I'm not going to, right? My little sprout thing.
Oh,
And
way cool.
so you it's a little bit like Ken does. He has a circular one, and I don't know if he has his where he can show you guys again, but you have the seeds in these two lower trays, and then you put the water into the top tray, and it drips down. So,
Can you stop sharing your screen and so we can see it? Because it's a little
absolutely,
on your, yeah.
that was a good suggestion, as always, Miss Timmy. And so you just put the seeds scattered across that little mat, and then you just put water in it every day up to the little inner line. Not a super complicated process, but you have to do it really consistently. And that was kind of where we didn't follow through as well. I think that was about 5 years ago, and we were in the smallest apartment that we've had here in Utah. So it was a bit rough. Yeah.
I
And
just,
then go ahead, Candace. I was just going to ask if you had yours there and wanted to share.
yeah, let me set up the camera. But yeah, I just anchored it to like when I came from home from work every day. That's just what I did, you know what I'm saying? Just,
Hmm.
hey, sometimes I miss it, sometimes,
Yours
well,
is a little bit more complicated, though. I wonder if it holds more water between the different layers because yours had what, maybe 6 layers?
yeah, I think like 4 or 5. Oh, let me camera up. Yeah, plug it up. See if it works. Now I gotta go get it. Phone.
We're putting them on the spot, guys.
And they were called centurions, so soldiers were centurions. So I don't know. I'm just trying to
All right. I'm back.
Okay.
And let me see. Oh, it works.
Yeah, it sure does.
well,
So that's where you put the water in the top layer there?
Mm-hmm. This
Mhm.
little micro holes right there.
Oh, okay.
And this,
Mine is much more open, right? Got holes the whole way around. And it looks like that on each level, but the inner levels are clear.
right.
Mm-hmm.
These
Yep.
and just spread out the seeds like evenly.
Mm-hmm.
And then just the bottom tray that catches everything.
Right? All the water.
'Cause I don't reuse the same water for,
Okay. That's awesome. Yeah. So are you going to do it again?
I think so.
Yeah.
Right now I've been thinking about spreading the rest of that mulch just over the rest of the grass while all the leaves on top. Maybe they'll provide for more mulch situation.
It will deteriorate a little less quickly underneath the mulch like that and not being torn up, just to let you know. But yes, it will. And so with Gardenary, I'm going to try both ways, right? Because I agree with you. I love mulch. She doesn't like mulch. So I'm going to do half the beds with and half the beds without. And if you look, I just got, oh, and it's upstairs. Hold on 2 seconds. Somebody's going to run that down to me. On the back cover, it really showed so clearly what she's wanting to create with the living mulch. And I hear someone running. Okay. And so some of her pictures don't show it as clearly, but these both really do. So this is the front cover, and you can see it's just no soil showing at all with her gardens. And the back is the same way. There is just no room to see the soil.
Mhm.
And so I've seen them when they were earlier on and they still showed soil. I'm really glad that I got to order this book. They had it on Thrift Books. And so it was really quite wonderful to, again, save those pennies, right? Oh my goodness, these days. And so, anyone else? 3 of us so far. All right. We'll take the pictures and show everybody what we're doing and show them it's not as hard as I make it sound, right? Yeah, it shouldn't be that bad. It should be pretty easy. When they say rinse, I picture like rinsing them, right? But you just fill that thing with water. And like I said, this one has the little measurement inside of it with that little line. Ken, does yours have a measurement as well like that inside of the container?
No, my measurement is just this top portion.
Yours is again, how many trays was it?
4.
4 internal trays?
I made
Well,
it.
that would make sense with the sizing. Plus, you have those really little holes. So it probably drains a lot more slowly.
Yeah, it drains a lot slow. Like it'll fill up
Mm-hmm.
and it'll just fill back down. Like,
So it doesn't force up to the top, though. You have to redo that, right?
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I throw the bottom tray water out and then fill up with new water.
Mm-hmm.
I usually put in like filtered water.
Do you? We had to buy some because, of course, our water softener has salt in it. So we're going to see if that changes some things. Cooking ham and beans and different kinds of beans and growing plants, they don't appreciate salt in the water. So
Yeah.
absolutely. All right. And so we've covered quite a bit. And that's what actually, as I said, was in the December season here. But I'm thinking that that will be better off over, or did I already move it? It looks like nope, here they are, right? So microgreens and sprouts. And then I do believe we also have the, one pot salad garden. So all of that, I think, is better to move into November. Although, as we've been talking here amongst ourselves and according to with the Gardenary method, they talk about all the different ways that we can experience our seasons. And so that's something definitely to keep in mind. And I've been going through the course and I'm about halfway through. So I'm a little bit behind. They're in their 10th week and I'm going into the 6th week. So I think that's probably how it's broken down. But I knew I wasn't going to be able to keep up with them. I'm just too busy. And so this is something I think all of us would benefit from doing. And we can do it here in class. I can create a template off of her little setup here that she's got. And I just remembered exactly where it's at. So before I began really diving into this 5th chapter or section called Gardenary Timing System, you fill out this little worksheet. And what it is each of your months, and then you have your highs, your average highs for that month, your average lows, the amount of rain that you receive on average, and what season that's in. And she has the nice little cheat sheet right down here.
Hey, Sabrina, can you stop sharing your screen?
Yep. I'm so sorry. You're so good at that. Thank you. Okay, so let's look at it again. There you guys go. The months, high, low, precipitation, and season. And it really was interesting because then you work out this other sheet, and I had to redo it 3 times, Mother, just so you know. They were here. Another big set of news, and I forgot to get pictures for you guys. My parents were up this weekend, and my dad filled in the hole that he dug for us in the spring. I'm sure that that was many, many thoughts in his brain. And so then you take that sheet here that has all of this broken down for you month by month, and you put it in to some specific sets of instructions. So what you're going to do with each month. And we really have a lot of difference here amongst us, even for my mom and I, where she is 6 hours away. She's in Southwest Colorado, and I'm in the middle to northern part of Utah, and they're neighboring states, similar climate, similar plants. We're quite a bit lower than they are, but very much a lot of similarities. And still this sheet and this sheet would look different. And so especially having Kendez in Georgia, Tammy in California, Benny in Massachusetts, Candace in Tennessee. I think that, and Irving. I don't think I have Irving on our list. Mr. Irving, where are you at? You're over in New York, is that right? And maybe
yes, that's correct.
I thought so. All right, so that's much closer to Benny, and yet I'm sure that is still a huge, huge difference, right? So would you guys be interested in doing those sheets for each of your different areas? Everybody's quiet.
Yeah, I'll be interested.
And that was
Benny. You haven't heard his voice? Oh,
I have, but never in Zoom. Oh my goodness. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm trying to figure out who that was. Benny! Oh my goodness. How are you talking to us? We're so happy and excited.
Tell you the truth. It's been a snow tonight.
So still the strong but silent type. We can respect that. So that would be something that you'd like to do up there for your area, Benny?
Yes.
Wonderful. We should definitely do that. So what we have to do for each of us is go into it, and it's really quite simple. all I did was go into a Google search. I didn't even go into an AI. And so your town or city is probably pretty large, pretty populated, right? It covers a decent sized area, or is it pretty compact?
Yeah, I think it covers a pretty big size area.
Okay, so then let's go with your zip code, if that's all right.
02703.
Okay, and so first you go and you would say, what is the average high temperature? Whoa, and I hit enter too quickly. And it took me into AI. How strange. Okay, that did not work out the way I wanted. Okay, what is the average high temp for 02703 in January? And then let me actually get all of this so that we can go through it more quickly. And hit enter. And then,
Hey, Sabrina. I
yeah.
just want to let you know that you have another person in the Zoom. So you have a new person. Just want to let you know.
Oh, well, thank you, Miss Tammy. Oh, Jacqueline. Hello. We are looking into different temperatures for each of our areas. All right, so Benny's high is, oh, and they gave us both here, 36 to 37. So let's go on the side of caution and write 36. And your low being 21 degrees. All right, and so then, let's see how quickly we can do this. I did mine much more slowly, but I thought about how I was going to do it a little bit more quickly. All right, so they're giving us just the high here. That's too bad. So we'll put high and low. Excuse me. Enter. Okay. 37 to 38 for the high, and the low stays pretty well the same, not surprising. .47, so you're starting warmer, and 30. 56 and 38. All right, and so you guys get the picture for how you do that, right? Now, let's go, what is the average precipitation in January? 2.1 inches. Excuse me. Grab this as well. And now our temperature ranges. You are going to be in the cold season until you reach at least 35 degrees as your coldest point of the day. So you won't be there until April for you. Okay.
Okay.
So the first 3 months are all the cold season. Okay. And then you get into the cool season pretty firmly. So it's not like in between. It looks like April, you'll be pretty firmly into the cool season. And that goes until 65 degrees. Then when you reach 65 degrees, you enter the warm period. And that's when you should have no risk of frost because your coldest point is 65 and your warmest point is 85. When you hit 85 and more, that's your hot season, right? And so you do that for each of your months. And I'll do that for you after class. I'll put this together. This is what I think we'll move towards as our gardening report. I just kept thinking about it and thinking about it. I made the one for Wendy, but I just really wasn't happy with it. And this is definitely something workable that we can put into our own personal garden reports to have to utilize, right? Alongside the planner here in class and the PDFs that we'll have access to. All of those different tools, maybe you use all of them, maybe you use one, maybe you use pieces, right? Each of us designing our own gardening journey, but with the tools that we need to support us to have our most successful gardening journey. All right, and so that's Benny's area.
Thank you, Sabrina.
Of course, and I'll get that in there, right? Like I said, and continue to think about some other things that we can make it personalized for each different person that has a report. And so I think that someone else had said they were ready. They wanted to do it as well, one of the ladies. No? Okay, who wants to go next then?
Me.
And is that Kinda?
Yeah.
All right. And so let's throw your zip code up there as well. That'll probably just be easiest.
30236.
You got it. Okay. So now, really simple. We just go back and we will change out our zip and month just to get an idea of what it looks like. Get 2 or 3 for each of you guys so that you start feeling what that looks like. So your average high is going to be, what should I put first for Benny here? Okay, your average high is going to be 54 and your low is going to be 33. So you're already almost to the cool point when you're in January. You're 2 points away. So you could push it very easily with some protective coverings and things like that, right? You could start and have, it looks like if you're in the beginning of January and all through January, you're averaging at 33, you could probably garden outside year round most years with some protective elements in place. All right. And I'm just going to tell you that right off by looking at where we're starting with January. Okay, now let's just grab February. $55 and $62, right? Early February. No, they're giving me. Okay, so we want an average Google Gemini AI overview. So we have what? So 3.5. So say about 58 or 59. And again, let's err on caution. And that's your high. So a little bit warmer. And then your lows are 5 off. So we'll say about 38. So that firmly puts you into the cool season for February. That means that you would want to keep an eye on your weather in case of anomalies, but you probably wouldn't even need protective covering in February. All right. And then we'll grab March. Excuse me. Okay.
You can grow in the 38s and
Your cooler weather plants. Yes. So your cool weather plants, things like your lettuces, radishes, okay, they can go from 38 to 65, or excuse me, I'm saying that because that's what you had, 35 to 65. You have that 30-degree window for their prime. So a little bit colder you have to protect, a little bit warmer you have to protect, right? To extend your seasons if you're interested in doing that. But that's where they really like to hang out. 35 to 65 degrees is your cool weather plants.
that's cool. My cucumbers died off of the broccoli, the leaves are still growing.
Those are warm weather plants or even hot weather plants, mostly towards that warm weather, but you can, again, protect them a little bit. So broccoli might, cucumbers are definitely a warm weather. I'm thinking that broccoli actually is a cool weather plant. However, you have to start it indoors, like in my area. So for your area, you would want to have it a certain percentage along. What temperature was it when it started doing badly with the broccoli?
I think It never did badly. It's just that the caterpillars came.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah. So I think that broccoli, with even just a little bit of protection, you could probably grow through when it starts cooling down in the fall, through until it starts really warming up in your spring. And so that means that you have a 6 month cool period or something about. So you can get in maybe 2, even 3 plantings of cool season plants in that 6 month period. And that's the difference, right? Benny's not going to have that. Benny's going to be much more comparable to what we have here, but he's like a month behind in warmth. So he's a little bit closer to here, but he's a little bit colder. It really makes just such an enormous difference, right? Okay, so now let's check the precipitation. I don't even think we need our copies, really. And then we want in January. Whoa, that didn't work. Okay. I think it had it, but I moved away too quickly. No, they're taking out the zip code. We don't want that. All right, so average precipitation is 0.63 inches. For February. I'm sure it knows what I meant. I can't answer though. Okay. Wow, that went up an amazing amount, between 4.5 and 4.8 inches. Wow, that's amazing. Would you agree that that's your experience?
That's Georgia weather. You have all 4 seasons in 1 week.
All right, let's grab March's. 4.3 to 5, so we'll call that 4.6. Oh, and we didn't get March's temperature, but that's okay. We have a good idea of where you're at. And so you are cool to slightly cold, we'll say. And then you're into cool. And at those temperatures, you're probably going to be cool pushing even warm by March, right? So what, your temperatures drop maybe around now is all?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you hit that 65 high as your daily temperatures, that's when you can either put something in the ground like a carrot seed, or you can already have a seedling ready for something like a broccoli plant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so if you're going to go from November to March, right? So only up to March, you're going to have a 4-month period there. So if you did want to have 2, you would have to put one in before you're fully having that full harvest from the first. So you could do it, but you would be having both sets of plants. So you don't quite have that full 6-month period. So you can eke out 2, but you have to be really ambitious about it. And you would be having a lot of harvest when you hit that month, if you manage to keep them going a little bit longer and you're starting to harvest off of the second round and you're still maybe getting off of that first round, you would definitely want to know of some place that you could give to friends, family, sell it to local grocery stores, whatever, give it to your neighbor, something, because it would be a lot of food, right? All right, but those are the differences there between 2 areas, and then actually 3 areas, right? Because that's Massachusetts, where Benny is warming up in April as the first cool season month, and March here in Utah, and February, maybe even January for Candez in Georgia. That's how much variance just between 3 people here in one country, right? There is a lot. And then if you include Hawaii and Alaska, oh my goodness, the amount of variance that would happen, especially considering Alaska's sunlight difficulties. So it's very interesting, but that's one of the nice things, again, about this gardenary system is that it really is meant to be used anywhere. She has people that follow her in Australia, right? And they just flip their stuff around. And maybe it's perfectly flipped, like as if they have 4 equal 3-month seasons, or perhaps their flipped is they have a 6-month long cooling season, or like she said, some places might even have a 6-month hot season. Oh, yuck, 6 months at 85 degrees or hotter. No, thank you, myself. But it probably happens for somebody out there, for a lot of somebody's out there, right? And then this is still something that you can do anywhere. So does anybody else want to get theirs started?
Sure, why not?
And that's Tammy?
Yeah, I'm pretty
All
sure
right.
I'm with you in Utah.
So you're going to be quite a bit different. Okay,
Yeah.
go ahead, my dear.
92311.
Gotcha. Okay, and let me actually go like this so I can continue afterwards. Okay, so we'll go back 1 page or 2 here, like, there we go. All right, your average is 59 to 35. So that leaves us with 39, Benny at 36, Kendez at 54, and Tammy at 59. Big differences, but that's on coast to coast, right? Massachusetts to California. So 59 to 35, and that is Miss Tammy. All right, and then '63 to 38. So you have not been in the cold season yet by our map. You may hit it in December a little bit, but it looks like you may not have a cold season at all, Miss Tammy. All right, and so let's grab Marches. '69.42. So you're already pushing up into your cool to warm season by March. Okay. All right, now let's grab your precipitation. We'll just call that 1.5 inches. And then but they're saying snow. I mean, technically you can get snow at 38. So, okay. Between 0.9 and 1.2. So we'll just say 1 point, we'll just call it 1.0 since we called it there 1.5. And then March. .6. And it's starting to dry out for you, right? So those are probably going to be 2 of your wettest months, I'm guessing. Is that accurate?
February, you said, right?
January and February? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. January and February is when like the winter, like, I mean, it's raining like crazy right now, but mostly it does get really cold towards like the middle of January and then, February kind of
Right?
thing. Yep.
All right, so you are cool season completely for the first 2. And then you're cool to slightly warm for March. So for your cooler weather plants, you're looking more at December, January, and February, right? Those are going to be good months for your Brussels sprouts and your carrots and radishes, right?
I wish I could grow Brussels sprouts. I love those things. They're so hard to grow. So hard to grow. But I'm determined to grow my Brussels sprouts. I love Brussels sprouts.
I think that as we set things up with this new method, right? As much as we're each able to, some of us will have um, raised beds, some of us will be doing it in the ground, but there's still all these different types of things that can be done. I really think that you can grow Brussels sprouts. That is a fruit plant, though. So that's, remember our steps. You're talking about the sixth step with a Brussels sprout. So it is a harder plant than spinach down on the first or second step as a leaf.
And they're gigantic. They grow like tall and big. And oh my goodness. Every time I look at one, I'm just like, oh my goodness, I want to grow one.
Well, we will then, right? And again, we don't have to approach step 6 this coming year. We can go through the first 2 steps with your leaves, or we can go into the 3rd and 4th step with your roots, or we can start heading up into the fruits. It all depends on what we each want to commit to, on how much time we have, how much space we have, how encouraged we are to try for the harder as well as the easier plants. And nobody should feel like they have to compete. Find the way that you're going to have the most enjoyable time. What's going to make you want to keep coming back year after year to get better and better and go higher on that success ladder, right? All right, we have enough time for one more. Anybody else want to get their report started?
I think, let me see here. Vanessa.
I would, but I'm not sure where I'm going to be because I might be moving because my husband's job. But I do have one question, and
Okay.
it doesn't have to pertain to the planting season. I have some spiders, and I was wondering, should I kill them? The mother already died, but I sent him in the chat just right now, but she left eggs, and they like she was a big spider, one of those big spiders like silver and stuff.
Is it in your house?
Oh my
No,
goodness.
it's outside, but I liked her because they said that because I when I first saw her I freaked out because she was huge, and I looked her up and it said that they're good for mosquitoes and stuff for the garden.
If
But
it's outside and not in a place where they're going to be highly likely to come into your house and you're comfortable with it, I would definitely leave them, right? Your venomous spiders are not very large generally. I mean,
yeah, they said they weren't.
big. I saw a few.
It says it wasn't poisonous to humans. They do bite if you get too close to them or something, but
And it
it's
might raise
like
like a little welt or whatever. It might be a little itchy.
yeah, like a mosquito or something or an ant. But they said they're not poisonous. But she left like I guess 4 big eggs. Those 3 and then one on the bottom. But those 3 right there are close to my window in my bed, one of my bedrooms. But I never opened that window, so I don't think they would get in.
It's sealed pretty well. You're pretty comfortable. Like my windows here aren't sealed well, right? There's dirt and dead bugs inside of them. So um the screens, obviously the dirt could get in there. It's windy around here, but there's big roly polies and stuff in there. So something isn't sealed well between my screen and my window.
Mhm.
So I would be, not trying to necessarily leave it, but there's nothing I can really do because I'd have to be on constant patrol with my big inset window wells, where these basement windows are. But if you are comfortable with your ceiling, I mean, I really wouldn't be very concerned with it myself.
Okay. I was thinking maybe leave one of her little egg stuff, and
Well, that's
get
a
rid
nice
of
compromise, right?
because my sister says there's a whole bunch of them in there? How many do you think's in there?
There can be 100 in each egg sac, right?
That's
Or not. You'd really have to know what species it was, and then they could just give you like an average. But there's not one egg per sac. Let me tell you
yeah.
that right now. Think about Charlotte's Web, right? Think about all those spiders exiting the web sac.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you.
Absolutely. So I do think leaving one would be a very nice compromise, if you're uncomfortable with it.
I'll probably just leave one because there's like 4 of them and they're big, and because she was huge,
Yeah. And so maybe there's not as many where she's left 4. I really have never studied spiders in depth, but they are not, it's not a single spider in each of those.
Yeah.
That's pretty much a given.
All right. Thank you.
Absolutely, Ms. Vanessa. Definitely awesome question. Anyone else? We still definitely have time to throw up another report. No? Everybody's good? All right. I'll create some sort of a post as well to encourage people to put one together. Maybe you just would rather not do it live, and I understand that as well. So yeah, we'll put together something and do it old school style like we used to do in LH2, but all around gardening and each person's individual plot of land, whether that be in a single pot to several acres like my mom has down in Cortez, right? So very fun, I think. And still got to work on tearing this apart, but I think that it's going to be difficult for us to do that when we're here in class a little bit. So I'll do some of that on my own, and anything that you guys see. Oh, I think that should be in another month. This should be over here. Oh, I would benefit from this being here. Or, I think this doesn't even need to be here. Whatever the case may be, please let me know. And definitely spend a moment checking it out, right? Just like we talk about, and this is the kind of stuff that we're trying to get built in here. Miss Julia May's got the setup for us, right, to get our first badge. That daily check-in stuff that we talk about in LH2, that's going to be something that will really get you guys so far with your own garden. Just even getting you in the headspace, getting you in the mood, getting you excited, giving you the thought of what you want to do right now. Or maybe you don't want to do right now. Maybe you want to think about putting out your plan for next year. This is another great time for that. Of course, Ken Des, with his super magical seasons, can pretty much be growing year round, and we all can, even in colder places like Benny and I, and my mother, Miss Tammy's up there with Ken Des, right? Irving, colder, and let's see, who else did we have in here with us? Jacqueline, did you want to share with us what part of the country you're in? Okay, we won't put you on too much of a spot there.
She is in the chat, Sabrina.
Oh,
She said
I'm
sure.
sorry.
She said sure.
Oh,
She wrote in the chat.
Okay, so I'm guessing that would be more towards that warmer area, still on the coast, right? But Massachusetts to Virginia, that's a lot of difference in what kind of an experience you're going to have. So let me write that down here, and I can get one of those for you as well, Jacqueline. I'm writing down your whole name, right? These guys, we pick on each other all the time, so I can kind of abbreviate. Absolutely. It'll be a lot of fun. I love putting all of these different kinds of pictures together for each of us, right? That really gave us a little snapshot into each other's lives, what kind of differences we're all going to be experiencing. And so let's check out Richmond, Virginia for Miss Jacqueline. Okay, so let's go back a couple pages here and grab January. And instead we'll put in a city and state. All right, 47 to 48. So we'll err on caution again, 47. So you have a little bit colder than Kendez and Tammy, certainly, with your low being 28 at the lowest point there. That's pretty cold, right? Below freezing. Let's check out February. '50 to 51 and 31 to 32. So we'll go 50 and 31. And then March. Okay, 58 and 37. Nicely in the cool, working towards the warm, right? So you're kind of in this weird spot because February at 31 to 50 is a little bit into the cold, but it's also pushing quickly up into 58 with the next one, and you're still at 37, just barely into the cold. So you kind of have this weird area there where you're not quite into the cool. So February and January are both cold for you. And then you are into the cool comfortably, but not very firmly established into the cool at March. So we're actually the closest there, I think. Benny is colder than both of us, and that's probably going to be pretty comparable to what I experience, a little bit warmer. So yeah, 47, 28, yeah. Okay, now let's grab your precipitation. And go back to January. 3.04 to 3.1, we'll call that 3 inches. .6 to 3.1, so 5-inch variance. So let's call that 2.8. And March. 4.4, so we'll go with 4 inches there. All right, so good amount of water coming your way, right? Definitely having the most water being for Kendez and Jacqueline. And then what was Benny's? 2.1. We didn't go very far in Benny's. Let's get just a couple more for Benny's there. Go back a couple pages. Change to 027 and get it for, well, we might as well just get it for March. It's already there. And 0.5 inches. So yes, definitely Kendez and Jacqueline have the highest amount of water, but let's grab February for Benny. Ooh, 0.1. That's not a happy number. So yeah, a little bit rough for something so coastal. I'm surprised. But that, again, is that huge variance, right?
Yeah, usually we get like a lot of water restrictions out here too.
I would not have expected that. Not at all. So getting that Hugel Cool Tour type of material built into your landscape would be a real positive as well.
Yes.
Wonderful. When we filled in that pit, Jay did a little bit, my husband, and then my dad did the rest of it. remember, it was a 4 foot by 8 foot wide, 15 foot long hole. And we thought we could have maybe gotten it done in 2 days between he and I, my husband and I. No, thank goodness for my father, because he did what would have taken us probably at least 4 or 5 days in a day and did it better than we could have done if we would have had 2 weeks. So we threw some huge chunks of the trunks actually from the aspen and silver birch. I think we did 3 rows of 9 and a row of 2, but they're really spread out, right? The plants are not even going to care about them. They have so much room to grow. It's in no way a problem. And in that huge hole, there are, they were good sized chunks, probably close to 2 foot long by almost a foot in diameter, 9 inches in diameter, something between out there. And as soon as they're fully saturated, which will probably take at least 2, maybe as many as 3 years, they'll just constantly give water back to the soil each year as it dries. Then you get that deluge and it won't have dried out completely and it'll resaturate, right? They get fully saturated in about 2 to 3 years in a dry area like this. And so dry area like yours, 2 to 3 years, it starts really soaking it in. And then underneath that, we have actually a layer of whole branches with the leaves still on them and everything. We put a layer of that at the very bottom of the pit, then a layer of dirt, soil, then the Hugel Cool Tool material, and then the final layer of dirt. And then we'll definitely mulch over that. Unless we decide to do it in ground, but I think that we'll probably do raised beds there. So lots of fun coming forward and definitely going to have so much to show you guys. We should have gotten filming for all of it, but everything is just happening so quickly and trying to get through this Gardenary certification so that we can just keep moving forward and moving forward. We have to pick and choose, right? So we should start having some material for you coming out this week. So some new material style, right? All right, guys. So what did you think of that? Was that really eye-opening for anyone?
Yes, Sabrina. It was. I thought it was.
What was surprising to you?
Everything. Honestly, like, I didn't know anything about that stuff until you told me about it.
Right, like not even for your own area had you necessarily thought about it like that.
No, like I said, I only worry about my climate zone. I never thought about anything what you were talking about. So yeah, it was really cool to know that kind of stuff for my area.
And so, go ahead, please, Candace.
Yeah, like precipitation and stuff like that.
Right, you got a lot of water, but you hadn't quite thought about it in numbers. Absolutely. And I don't get a lot of water, right? And I think about the numbers a little bit, right? We hear about them over here in the West. You'll hear about how much rain or how much snow, but to think about it as a grouping like that, right? It's really helpful. And so after we've gotten this portion, then next week we'll talk about how these boxes get filled out, right? And let me stop my share again for just a second so you guys can take a peek at that. So we'll take what this means for 1 or 2, maybe 3 of you. It's a little bit more intensive than just getting the numbers out of Google, and put together these boxes for you guys and show you what it is, why we're putting it, why we said that this is when you start your cool season seeds indoors. And this is when you take those cool season plants and put them in the ground alongside the seeds for the cool season, that you're not going to start as seedlings. You're going to start in the mixture of your raised beds or in the ground, whatever it is that is your setup, right? And so we'll talk about that. And that comes after filling out this, right? You have to do this in order to find out the, how shall I put it, the written instructions for what you're doing. You're hearing what your temperatures are, and we talked about like the cold season plants and when you're in the cold season, when you're in the cool season and things. And so that's already starting to be helpful, but then you're going to really flesh what that thought means. What does it mean that now you have begun the cool season? Where should you be to take advantage of the fact that now you know you're entering the cool season? That's what these boxes do. Does that make sense, everyone?
Yeah, definitely helps a lot.
I thought so too. I love everything that she does. Anyone else? Any thoughts? All right, let's jump in here and check out our calendar. Really excited. So sorry that we missed so much last week. I totally forgot to cancel yesterday. It was our youngest daughter's 14th birthday. And so my parents were up here, as I said, for her birthday, and my dad did all of that for us. And everybody just had a fantastic time, but I was very busy, very distracted, and completely dropped the ball. I do apologize so much. We should see things regulate out and get back to our normal classes this week, along with some additional material for those of you who have time to check out and see what it's looking like as we're beginning to do the microgreens, the sprouts, I like salad in a bowl. I think that maybe Nicole Burke called it salad in one pot or something like that, but I like salad in a bowl. I think that's a cuter little thing. That's probably what I'm going to call it. Anyway, we'll start those, as well as perhaps even going so far as getting the material to start doing the garden installs, with Jay having this whole week off. 6 more days? Oh my goodness, that already makes it sound too short. But we'll get some fun things done and get some fun material out there for you guys, and hopefully make every class. So that should be and will be tomorrow. I've already told them I have a couple classes I have to do tomorrow, and of course, as we all know, Matthew's going live in LH2, and so Tammy and we really have to talk about that before your next class over there in LH2 tonight. Okay, so tomorrow, let's quit together. And I have changed the time so that we can accommodate Matthew's live over there. And that's tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Pacific, 3:30 p.m. Mountain, 4:30 p.m. Central, and 5:30 p.m. Eastern. So definitely hope you guys have the opportunity to show up, and just letting you know straight out the door, holiday season, not doing as well as I was. So definitely no judgment coming from these quarters over here. All right, everybody, please feel free to unmute and say goodnight.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Coaches.
Good night.
You guys need
to hear you. Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great week.